Here's 2 reasons why you don't stick to things. And I've done it too. We all have. Once you learn this about yourself, it's going to get easier. Number 1, don't get excited during the planning phase and then tell everybody what you're going to do. Because the act of planning something is very exciting. And then when you tell people, it kind of like takes the place of doing it. Talking about things takes the place of doing them. I want you to keep it bottled up inside. Don't tell anybody what you're going to do. And just let the action speak for itself. Secondly, you try to do too much. When you have been complacent and lazy, and then maybe you get motivated for some reason, have a bad day at practice, maybe have a good day, maybe you haven't been to practice in a while, but you're inspired by someone else. Like, I'm going to do that too. Watch my smoke. Get ready. The new me is arriving. Just get ready. This is going to be exciting. Who's on board with me? No. When you do that, that takes the place of doing things. Secondly, when you do decide that you want to improve, don't try to do too much. I had a roommate years ago. He was like 6:30 a.m. wake up, 6:32 to 6:36 push-ups, and he had his whole day. I mean, I was like, you're not going to stick to that. Why don't you just go to practice in the Oklahoma State wrestling room twice a day with the rest of us? Just do that. It's enough. Guys are winning NCAA titles by doing that. You don't need all that extra bullshit. Don't do it. So don't like I got a 6-hour weightlifting program that I'm going to do 4 days a week. No, you're not. Why don't you stick with 4 lifts twice a week for 35 minutes and say, I'm going to do this. And if that's what you're required to do, it's probably enough, because you're not a bodybuilder, you're not a power lifter. You need to be in the wrestling room. So this is my weightlifting program. And hey, you have the permission and opportunity, if you do go to the weight room and you're really into it, then you can stay an hour. You can do more lifts. Good. But all that's hanging over your head on Monday after school is this 35-minute lifting program. It's called Underachieve Your Way to the Top. Do less several times a week for 1 year to 3 years to 5 years plus. Underachieve your way to the top. And once you pick something that you can actually stick with, you always have permission to do more. So, wrestling. I'm going to wrestle an hour a week, an hour 3 times a week. Maybe even just 2. Okay. Let's just say 2. You have my permission to do 3, 4, or 5 if you really get into it. But I only have 2 1-hour weightlifting or wrestling sessions a week, and I have 2 35-minute weightlifting sessions a week. Great. That's all that's hanging over your head. You can do that. You have 168 hours in the week. You got 165 left. And if you can even lift and wrestle the same day, and you get 5 days a week off, just stick with that. Trust me, it's enough. Why is it enough? Because you're not trying to beat the high school world champion yet. You're just trying to do better than what you've done. And at this point in time, you're disappointed in your ability to exercise some consistency. So the concept of underachieving your way to the top is absolutely vital. So there's my 2 tips. Good luck, do better.